So I decided to buy a pre-owned EV because my commute at the time was just to the train station most of the time, where they had EV chargers available for plug-in. So it made it really convenient, and I was able to calculate how much I would save, not spending money on gas. Yeah, it can be kind of a complex process to figure out what exactly the savings are going to be. So I found the SCE.cars.com website to be really helpful in terms of, what the cost of power is for electricity versus mileage of different gas cars, and trying to compare. And there's great incentives from utilities, the state, in some cases federal, depending on what you're looking at.
With charging at home, I have a time of use rate for my electricity. And I have taken advantage of that in order to save my essentially fuel costs or electrical costs for traveling. Prior, I was spending close to $100 every 4 days. And for the month, I'm spending close to $150 for all the travels that I was previously doing.
So with DC fast charging, I can go to different public stations anywhere and charge. And so that's how I charge my Bolt, is mostly by DC fast charging at public charging stations.
The kind of charger I have at home is a Type 2 charger. And I also charge at work. By having these chargers, I feel really comfortable of not having any range anxiety.
So as an apartment renter, I don't actually have charging at my home, but it's really not a problem. My wife and I will often find some restaurants nearby that may have some charging available, and we'll say, hey, that makes it easy. We can charge and go grab a bite to eat. Or sometimes I'll go to the gym, and then after that, I'll head over to the local fast charger and get a little work done on my phone while I fast charge up, and then I'm good to go for the week.
When I drove an internal combustion engine car, I was stopping for gas several times a week, which is very expensive, especially with gas prices going up all the time. I love the stability of being able to plug in and knowing that the rates are the rates, that it's not up and down like a gas price. So I was able to budget for the entire year what my fuel costs would be, much more efficiently than when I was driving a gas car.
In terms of how my electric vehicle drives compared to my gas car, my gas car is actually, it's like a performance sports sedan. And, when I first got it in 2013, I loved driving it and hearing, the roar of the engine. And then I got my electric vehicle, and it was silent, and it was immediate torque, and it was fast. So I wouldn't say I speed, but I get to the speed limit quickly. And it's very nice. I actually prefer driving my electric vehicle over my gas car.
So the maintenance of an EV is actually relatively low. There's no oil change, no other coolant, 40,000 mile service checks that are required by the dealership. I've just had to change brakes and tires.
I've only had my Bolt a year, and I haven't done anything. There's no oil change. All I ever had to do was rotate the tires and windshield wiper blades. That's it.
If you compare the cost of a gasoline-powered automobile with an EV, in my experience, the EV is far cheaper to operate. Not only the maintenance, but the fuel costs, far cheaper, much more economical. They're not competitive EVs. They're far superior as far as being less expensive to operate.
I think not going to a gas station and not polluting the air are the two things that get to me, because I just remember the feeling of driving the Leaf for the first time I went to an event, and just that feeling of the quiet and the smoothness and just the technology. It's almost overwhelming in pleasure. I don't know.
One of the main appealing virtues of an EV is how incredibly fast they can be, especially in acceleration. And this is coming from a former Corvette driver. So I needed something to be peppy and zippy. And oh my goodness, I've never been in an EV that wasn't extremely fast when you needed it to be. So That, coupled with the fact that I wasn't stopping for gas every few days, I was just plugging in the evening and it was ready to go in the morning, that just made it a no-brainer for me.